Hey bestie, it's B. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. I'm here every Saturday. And you should also check out my podcast, Delusional Diaries. It's on Spotify, Google, Apple, like basically anywhere you can listen to podcasts. So today's video, you guys. First of all, are we feeling the florals today? It's Easter, so had to whip out the Kate Spade. But happy Easter if you celebrate it. Happy Passover if you celebrate it. Happy Ramadan if you celebrate it. So many holidays at this time. Anyways, you guys, I wanted to talk to you about flow. Not the one that you typically hear in period commercials. I'm talking about flow and ease of life. Now you guys know anxiety's been a little rough for your girl lately. So for me, flow has actually been something really useful to tap into and aim for. Hopefully it can help make your life a lot easier as well. Now let's break down exactly what flow is. So when you're in a state of flow, it's exactly what it sounds like. Everything is very effortless. Now for me, the ways I know I'm in flow is that everything is kind of working out without me trying too hard. I feel very stable and energized internally. I have like an abundance of ideas that I want to execute. I just feel like at the top of my game. Obviously, flow is where it's at. That's where the party's at, okay? You don't want to be constantly forcing yourself against every aspect of your life. That's exhausting, it's tiring. Being able to achieve flow is honestly like one of my favorite things to do. Am I constantly in a state of flow? Absolutely not. There's turbulence here and there where I get thrown off track, but I've kind of figured out how to tweak certain aspects of my life to get back on, and that's what I'm gonna share with you. Flow is really where everything is just working out best case scenario for you. Opportunities are flowing your way. You just happen to always be in the right place at the right time. I believe we all deserve to be in a state of flow. If you have beliefs in your mind that you have to really always be feeling exhausted, working beyond your capacity, feeling tired, I'm not saying not working hard, but I am saying that if you feel like everything has to be super difficult in order for it to be worth it or for you to achieve success, this is where you need to work on things first. Before I can give you any other tips, it's gonna start here with what you even believe. Now you guys know in plenty of my videos, it comes down to what your beliefs are in your head. So if for you, happiness and success has to be coupled with extreme difficulty and exhaustion, then that's what's gonna show up for you. First, you have to teach yourself or maybe unlearn some things that, wow, life can go smooth. Things can work out for you. I'm not saying there's never gonna be like a bump in the road, because there absolutely is, but even when there is, everything always works out for you. Like if your car battery died, okay? The way that it works in flow is someone would be there with the jumper cables. So that's just a little example of how, yes, things are still gonna happen, but life is still gonna be effortless and flow for you when you're in that state. So first, change that belief. If you wanna work on changing that belief, you can go to my abundance mindset video. I always reference that one because it applies to so many aspects of our life. And I think when you have an abundance of understanding that things just work out for you, you don't act on the energy of having a scarcity mindset, which basically means you don't think there's enough for you. And so therefore you have to overcompensate. We don't wanna work from that kind of place in life, okay? That doesn't sustain you. You're gonna burn out. You're gonna be super tired working from that kind of energy. You need to understand that everything is gonna work out for you regardless of the path that you take. You also need to understand that there's an abundance of ways that you can get what you want. Part of having a very lack mindset or a scarcity mindset is believing that there is only one way to get there. And I will tell you, look at YouTube, for example. There's so many YouTubers out there, but I guarantee you we all have different stories about how we got to where we are in terms of growing our communities. So keep that in mind. You never know who you're gonna run into at Target or the coffee shop. It might just be the person you need to talk to, or you never know what opportunity is gonna come knocking at your door. But your job is to get in a state of flow and trust in God God and the universe or whatever you refer to it as, and know that everything is working out for you and the pieces of the chessboard are being moved in your favor at all times. So once you have created the rule in your head that things can be easy for you and you can enter a state of flow and you deserve to be in a state of flow, now you can actually work on getting to the path of flow. So what you would need to do first to figure out what your path of flow is actually reflect on the different areas of your life and think about what feels forced. I use the word forced specifically because anything where it doesn't feel natural or anything that's feeling like disconnected from you, these are the areas we want to work on getting you in a state of flow with. So for you, maybe it's work, maybe it's a relationship, and the relationship that you're in right now is just constantly feeling forced or disconnected. You know, maybe you're not seeing eye to eye with your partner or someone that you're interested in. This is a great opportunity to look at how you can get in a state of flow in whatever area in your life that it applies to. So here's the thing, if you take the time to be honest with yourself, your intuition is gonna tell you what feels natural and what feels forced. However, if you let denial get in the way of that and you let your ego get in the way of that, you might convince yourself that everything is fine and everything is perfect. It's okay to understand that there are certain areas of your life that need work and that maybe you could be in a different place with. So it's gonna take some time for you to feel like you're actually ready to take actionable steps to achieving flow. But I think the first thing you have to accept with that is that this area needs work. It feels forced, it's exhausting, it's taking energy from you, and you're obviously not in a state of flow and bliss right now. You have to stop thinking so logically. And so this is gonna be really hard for some people, but what I think is important is that you start to feel more than you think. Okay, because our brain comes with a lot of different interpretations, right? We have the ego brain that's gonna definitely sway us in a certain direction, but our logical mind isn't always the best option, in my opinion. I think listening to your gut intuition and your feelings sometimes is going to be the best way to figure out where you have resistance. And sometimes you might not know why you feel a kind of way. Have you ever met somebody and they're great on paper and everybody seems to love them, but there's something that you can't put your finger on that's like off? It's that kind of thing. And it doesn't make that person a bad person. It's just like there's some weird resistance here and I'm not really sure what it is. You know what I'm saying? So it happens here and there, but listen to that feeling, that intuition, because sometimes it's telling us something on a much higher level that we don't understand and we may never understand, but start to observe that. It's not that you need to take action on that. It's just that you need to hear the thought and say, interesting, and move on. So once you have a pulse on the areas of your life that you have resistance with, that feel forced, now it's time to picture what the best case scenario would be for this area of your life. So for example, before I was a content creator, a lot of you know that I was a corporate baddie, and I will say it felt very forced. At the time, interpreted my experience in corporate America as me just being incompetent, and this was my logical brain just taking the facts and being like,
well, you're bad at your job, so you must be stupid.
Not true. Okay, there are many areas of my life where I excelled greatly, but unfortunately, actually fortunately, corporate America was not for your girl, and that's okay. But my higher self, God, the angels, everybody, they were like, this ain't for you, girl. And it seemed at the time like the world was against me, but what was I doing? I was forcing myself to be in this space because I had seen my parents go that route. You got a corporate job, you paid your bills, and that's just what you did. But my plans were gonna be different, and there's something out there that was going to make sure I got the memo. It just felt like things were just never in flow for me when it came to working in a corporate space. Eventually, I had to hit rock bottom to realize this isn't right for me, and I really can't see myself here for the rest of my life. So then what could I see myself doing for the rest of my life? And really, to be honest, at the time, I didn't know what the best case scenario looked like. I had never seen it, but I understood that it wasn't this. I had to think about the last time I genuinely felt joy working on something. And I remembered, oh, it was in high school when I was making content. It still blows my mind that at 15 years old, I was literally training to be a YouTuber and I had no idea. But at that time, there was no TikTok. YouTube was really for like the OG people. There weren't a lot of people making careers out of it. So I just didn't think that that was an option for me. finally, I accepted that I was made to be in a creative space, and this was a huge step in entering the path that I needed to be on to get to the path of flow. I mean, I was all off course before that. I was still in denial, but that was not my calling. That was not my truth. And I always use this analogy, how if you get a fish to climb a tree, it's gonna look like a dumbass. I don't think those were the exact words, but that's where I was. I was a fish climbing a tree. I had not found my pond yet. But once I started to slowly take the baby steps to get to a more creative job, and no, it did not happen overnight, I got closer to being in that state of flow. And then eventually I was able to take the full jump and start doing content full time. And when I did, it was like the ideas were bursting out of me. I was just so excited every morning when I woke up to grab a camera, just start making content. I truly breathed it. And if I could wish anything for any of you, I genuinely hope that you find something that makes you feel alive and makes you feel like that. Because I could see myself doing this truly forever. Even if one day they're like, no, you're irrelevant, Bria. Okay, I'm still gonna make videos. I don't care because I just love doing this. And so that's what helped me get into a state of flow, is really just having fun, enjoying myself, and you get immersed in that state of flow, and it's so cool. The scary thing that I sometimes think about is that if I would have listened to my logical brain when I was in corporate America, that, oh, Bria, you have to pay your bills. You can't be self-employed, that's risky. If I listened to those thoughts of like how unstable I would be as a starving artist, I would never be here talking to you today. Your logical brain is heavily fueled by your ego. And what does your ego want to do? Your ego at the end of the day wants to protect you, just kind of comes off as an asshole 90% of the time. And sometimes you gotta shut the ego up and realize that you are so much more powerful than those fearful thoughts that your ego tries to bestow onto you all the time, because you are. So once you finally find the path that you're supposed to be on, then comes the hard part, and that is trusting and letting go. Because as long as you are trying to control the entire situation, you are operating from a fearful mindset. You're not being open to the miracles that could happen to get you to where you want to be. You have to have a miracle mindset, which basically means be open to the idea that something could happen for you in the way that you least expect it to happen. Stop trying to make everything work out exactly like you want it to. There's no way you can be in flow and be doing that at the same time. Plus, it's exhausting trying to control everything, and this is literally coming from the queen of being control freaks. Like, I understand what it's like to want to control everything because you don't want to fall on your ass and fail, especially when you've taken a chance on yourself, especially when you've taken a risk. But every day I've had to train myself to wake up expecting a miracle, expecting that something is gonna happen. And I swear to you, every time I intentionally think about this, I get some kind of great opportunity or good news. And you guys have seen it, literally. Go look at my vlogs, the opportunities that I've been able to do, like going to movie premieres and having sponsorships with like luxury car brands. This is all me getting out of the way and being like, okay, I've done my part. I'm just gonna sit back and wait. Seriously, because the more you try to move pieces, you're getting in the way and it's gonna take longer. Sit down and have fun. Focus on fun, and I promise you the rest is gonna work itself out. And I know you're probably like,
this is too good to be true.
If that's your belief, then yes, it is. And trust me, with anxiety issues, you guys, control is literally my middle name. Like, I love to control. I love to manipulate everything going on in my life. But there is something bigger that is forcing me to learn the lesson that everything really is working out best case scenario if I just calm the fuck down. And I'm slowly getting there, guys, but you know I'm not perfect. I have my days. Someone commented on the last video where I was having my anxiety attack on camera that bad bitches have bad days too, and period. Meg the Stallion wasn't lying. We do. And so it's not expected of you to be perfect at this, but the more that you can practice it, the better you will be. And I'm telling you, right now, with anxious thoughts and anxiety, this is really helping me to remember just even the concept of flow, and the state of flow is possible if I let it happen. And you'll always know when you've entered that state of flow because your ideas will just be popping left and right. Like, you have so many cool things that you want to execute and you feel like you don't even have enough time to do them because there's so many cool things you want to do. You'll just feel a lot more relaxed internally. Things will just be happening for you. Opportunities will just be coming your way. You're not gonna understand why. And bestie, please don't try to. Because again, remember that logical brain, it's gonna try to convince you that you're in over your head and it's too good to be true. And you don't want to go there. Be open to miracles, be open to having a miracle mindset, and just understand that good things happen to you because you let them happen to you. If you believe that good things can come your way and that life can be in flow and that things can happen easily and effortlessly for you, then they can. But if you don't believe that and you don't want to accept that, then your reality is gonna be just that. So it's up to you. And I know it's easier said than done. You have to work on getting your mind to that, because we all come from different circumstances and backgrounds that have conditioned us to feel like things come the way they do. Maybe some of us came from a background where things really did come easy, so you never really had that problem. Or maybe you come from a background where things have always just felt really difficult and hard. Maybe that's something you learned from your parents. But now that we're getting older, we can just take a moment to reflect that these are the things we might have learned growing up, but we also have the power and authority to change those thoughts. Just takes a little bit of work. Anyways, flow is such a great place to be, and I want all of you to get there at some point. Create the rule in your head for yourself and understand that less is more. That is truly the theme with flow, and as hard as that is for some of us, I know that you can get there, especially if I can get there. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments if you've ever been in a state of flow and what that was like for you. Subscribe and don't forget to hit the notification bell, and I'll see you guys next week.